Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill. Well, with the busyness of the holiday season, it's really hard to find the time to start planning next year's garden. But I can guarantee if you're a gardener, every time a seed catalog arrives in the mail, you're doing your happy dance and you're really excited to start looking through them. Well, today's topic is seed catalogs. I'm going to tell you what you need to know so that you can navigate through them and make the best choices possible. Here's a sampling of what's come so far. This is the Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds catalog, and one thing that's a little confusing is that their website is actually rareseeds.com, not Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. But they have the coolest catalogs, and I'll talk about that a little more in a moment. But one other thing that they produce each year is called the Whole Seed Catalog, and you can actually purchase it at a bookstore, usually in the magazine section, and it is so much fun to look through. Here's the Seed Savers Exchange catalog. That's another favorite of mine. High Mowing Organic Seeds, Burpee, Seeds and Such, Territorial Seed Company, Botanical Interests, Fedco, and Young Seeds. So let's look at a couple of the more exceptional ones. So again, here is the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Catalog, and there are a couple of things that I really like about them. And since this is right on the cover, I'm going to point out that they have free shipping as long as you're ordering from somewhere in North America. And you know, it's really nice to save money on that. So I like that a lot, especially if you happen to put in your seed orders and then later you realize, oh, I still want to order this too. You can order it from Baker Creek and it doesn't cost you any extra shipping, so that works out really well. So the other thing that of course is their specialty is that they offer a lot of different kinds of unusual, hard to find vegetables and flowers. Now, something unusual that they did this year is this catalog is alphabetical with the flowers and the vegetables displayed together. So that was a little bit confusing, but once I figured that out, I was okay. Now, I wanted to show you, do you remember how this last season I grew Bulgarian giant leeks? And they were huge and amazing, and they're wonderful. We're really enjoying them. Well, this is where I got them. I got them from Baker Creek. So I just wanted to point that out. But this is a great catalog. The whole seed catalog is 500 pages long. So this is something where you get yourself a pot of tea, you sit down, and you just take your time looking through all of the pages of yummy things. So this has everything that's in this catalog and way more. Lots of unusual things. And it is so much fun to look through. They've got winged beans, bitter melons, but then also they have more standard things like golden beets. Here's Cylindra beets, which are one of my favorite beets to grow. Look at the size of this, mammoth red mango. Wow. And again, flowers are mixed in with the veggies. But it's just so much fun to go through these. You notice dog ears here and there because I'm going to try some new things like this Uzbek golden carrot. Why not? So this is a lot of fun to look through, and it gives you a chance to try some things you have never grown before because variety is truly the spice of life. So here's the Seed Savers Exchange catalog, and they specialize in untreated, non-hybrid, non-GMO seeds. But I want to clarify something with that. In most seed catalogs, you will see something that says the Safe Seed Pledge. And what that means is they will never knowingly sell GMO seeds. Unfortunately, that's kind of meaningless because GMO seeds are not available for home gardeners. So their intent is good, but I just want to clarify that you can't get GMO seeds anyway. But what I like about Seed Savers Exchange is they have all kinds of great heirloom seeds. You can be a member or you can not be a member and still be able to order seeds from them. And so they have all kinds of great tried and true seeds that have been grown a long time, and they have a good reputation for performing well. So one of the seeds I started growing from them last year was Federally paste tomatoes. Here they are right here, and they were fabulous. And the nice thing is the information that goes with each different type of seed tends to give you the history on them, so you know a little bit more about where they originated, who was growing them, what their attributes are, and so on. So this is a really good catalog to get. The second to last catalog I wanted to show you is Botanical Interests. They also have a deal on shipping. They are selling more organic seeds than they used to, which is great. And I also have to tell you that the artwork on their seed packets is absolutely stunning. So if you happen to get somebody some seeds for a gift, you're giving them something that is beautiful artwork as well as something to grow in their gardens. Other thing that I like, they have both flowers and vegetables and a lot of things that are very unusual or hard to find. Take a look at this aster. It is the most glorious apricot pink color. So of course I had to get that one. Let's see what else I got here. I picked out a Pixie Delight lupin that I thought was awfully pretty. It is a little more petite. I thought that would look really pretty in our flower beds. But Botanical Interests is a really nice catalog and great fun to look through. Fedco is the last catalog that I wanted to give a shout out to. So they sell both seeds and gardening supplies, which is nice. And it's all black and white, which you might think, oh, I don't like that because the photographs are so much better to look at. However, this is patterned along the lines of the Trader Joe's Fearless Flyer newsletter, if you're familiar with that. It has a lot of funny things in it, so it's just fun to read the descriptions. But they sell really nice seed. They're reasonably priced. And it's a great catalog. Here's some herb seeds also, as a matter of fact. Flowers and so on. And then you go in the back, and there's all kinds of organic pest control, garden gloves, other types of supplies, and even garden books. So this is a fun catalog to read through, and also they have a lot of really cool stuff. Now there's two important things that I wanted to point out. It's always good to patronize your local independent garden center. So definitely go check out their seed stock first. And the nice thing is you don't have to pay shipping. The other thing is that in 2020 it was pretty hard to come by seeds and garden supplies. So I heartily recommend that you place your orders as soon as you possibly can for a better chance of getting what you're after. Now when you're getting ready to look through the seeds, you want to make good choices, right? Well, one thing you should definitely do is look through any kind of notes that you made from the last year and possibly a year or two before that. So I use a garden journal, and particularly one that is good for 3 years. And so I can look each year and see, how did this particular variety of vegetable perform for me? What kind of problems did I have? And so on. Because I'm really good about writing notes to myself in here that says, do not plant that again. Or, yes, definitely grow this. Or, my friend grew this and it did great for her. All of those things are helpful because it's hard to remember from year to year. Now, when you're looking through a catalog, there is one piece of information that is really important to look for, and that is the days to maturity. You'll notice in this catalog, and it is a little faint, I apologize for that, but you can see it's after the name of the variety. I live in an area that gets hard winters and we have a short growing season. Because of that, it's important that I choose varieties that will grow and mature in the time that we have in a season. In this particular case, I'm looking at winter squash, and I really wanted to grow honey nut, which is sort of a personal size butternut squash. And I thought, wow, that sounds great. But it needed 110 days, and I thought, boy, that is really pushing it. So I ended up going with autumn frost, which is 100 days. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I try to pick things that need a shorter season. So if you have a short growing season as well, it's really important to look at the days to maturity for things like tomatoes, melons, and winter squash. One thing I should point out about days to maturity is that refers to the date that you either planted a seed in your garden or transplanted a seedling that you already started indoors into the garden, and how many days it takes from that point on in order to produce mature fruits. It does not count if you start the plant indoors from seed. It only starts counting as soon as you plant them out in the garden because they need to establish themselves. If you're interested in growing onions, I have some tips for you. All seed catalogs sell onion seeds, but some also sell onion sets, which are small bulbs, or onion plant starts. No matter which method you choose to start them, there are two important things you need to know. The first is that you want to choose the right day-length onion for your region. Onions are divided into their day-length type, which is short day, intermediate day, or long day. This is based on the number of daylight hours your region gets in the summer and impacts the size of the onion bulbs. For example, I live in the Northwest where we have really long days in the summer. So when I'm choosing an onion variety to grow, I need to select one that is a long day onion. If you live in the South, you have fewer daylight hours, so you should choose a short day onion variety that will bulb up with a shorter amount of daylight hours. This is a map from DixondaleFarms.com, which is based in Texas, and it's a great source for onion plants and onion growing information. This map can help you determine which day length applies to your region. That way you'll have the best success growing your onions. So here's the northern region where I am, and we average 14 to 16 hours of daylight. It's wonderful. In the intermediate region, 12 to 14 hours of daylight. And down here is for short day onions with 10 to 12 hours of daylight. Once you've sorted out the correct type of onion to grow, then you can choose a variety within that type. Now this is the Territorial Seed Catalog, and you can see there's quite a few long day onion varieties listed here and on the next page. So examples would be Walla Walla Sweet, White Sweet Spanish, also Yellow Sweet Spanish, Talon, that's one I grew last year and it's great, Red Bull, Patterson, Cortland, Ruby Ring, and so on. The other important thing you should do while you're choosing a variety is to read how long each one keeps in storage. If you look at these four examples here, we've got White Sweet Spanish, which keeps just 2 months. Now that is normal for a sweet onion. They tend not to last very long, but they're still wonderful. So what you do is you just make sure you use those up in the first couple months after harvesting them. Here's Cortland that keeps 9 to 12 months. Wow. And Talon, the one I grew last year, 10 to 12 months, which is awesome. And here's Ruby Ring, which stores for 6 months. So just keep that in mind because it might impact your decision on which types you want to grow. The other thing I wanted to point out is that seed catalogs are a great resource Some of them give so much detail about the cultural needs of whatever it is you're trying to grow. So this is the Territorial Seed Catalog, and you'll notice in the tomato section they have information here that gives you how to grow them, the difference between the determinate and indeterminate tomatoes, information on transplanting them, possible insect or disease issues that might crop up, and how to harvest and store them. So really take advantage of the great amount of information that you'll find inside seed catalogs, because it will help you be a better gardener. I'm up in my office right now because I wanted to show you a couple of resources that you might not be aware of. What you're looking at is my website, susansinthegarden.com. And if you go to the guides menu right here, and you go down the list of things that are in the guides section, you'll notice there is Susan's Garden 2020 and Susan's Garden 2021. So 2020, of course, is showing you what I grew last season, and 2021, which is what's on the screen right now, is what I'm planning to grow next year. And what I did is I listed the crop, the variety that I chose, and seed sources. I felt like the seed sources would be helpful because if you're trying to put together a couple of orders, the more you can order from a single source, the more you'll save on shipping. So that's why there's all of these different places listed. It's not all inclusive, but it gives you a good idea where to find seeds. I do get asked a lot about what I'm going to be growing, and so that's why I created this list. And you can see I mentioned this Uzbek golden carrot. It's only at Baker Creek, but I'm growing that this coming year. The other resource I wanted to show you is also under the guides menu. And if you go all the way down to vegetable planting, I have a chart that I've created. And you'll notice it lists the vegetable, how deeply to plant the seeds, how much space to have between the plants, between the rows, typically the number of days it takes for the seeds to germinate or sprout, generally speaking, how long it takes them to reach maturity, that can vary of course, and whether they're a cool season or warm season crop. So I hope that you'll find that to be a really useful resource. Okay, well that's all for now. Have fun looking through your seed catalogs. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next week. Take care.